Your extracurriculars, your grades, who you know, whatever may not matter in the real world. And this is a time where you realize who your real friends are. That's the reality of the job market today. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the realities of post-grad. I'm going to be doing my makeup while I talk to you guys. I'm going to a baby shower today, so we're going to get ready together and talk about post-grad. It is grad season, and I know a lot of people are graduating soon. The inspiration for this video came from a TikTok that I saw this morning. It basically showed like life after post-grad, and it was just like, you know, during college, everyone's so happy. You're going to all these parties, you're hanging out with friends, all these things, you're having a good time. But then when you graduate, it's so lonely. You don't keep in touch with your friends. Post-grad depression sets in, and that's a real thing. And I feel like people do not talk about the transition between post-grad to real life. And I'm here to talk about that transition and prepare you guys for the realities of post-grad. So a little bit about me. I am 2 years, almost 2 years post-grad. I have a bachelor's degree in biological sciences. I did go back to school after, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. I had the bachelor's degree and I've had many jobs since I graduated, and I still am not where I want to be in life, and that is the reality of post-grad. Let's talk about expectations. I want to talk about kind of like my thought process and my expectation after I graduated college. I realized that in my junior year, I did not want to pursue medical school. I wanted to go into biotech, and I lived in an area where there was a good amount of biotech companies, and I was like, oh, I don't mind, you know, working a biotech job. I thought to myself, the job market was going to be good and I wouldn't have problems finding a job. I had internships, I had work experiences, I had certifications, I had connections, I had everything that you need pretty much to set you up and guarantee you for a job post-grad. I had all those things, but yet somehow I could not find a job to save my life. Also, on top of that, I graduated during the worst times in the job market, and I feel like since then, since 2023, the job market has only gotten worse. A lot of you guys probably are thinking about what you want to do, and maybe some of you guys already have job offers, some of you guys are still waiting. The first thing I want to tell you is you have to manage your expectations. The job market that our grandparents and our parents had is not the same job market of today. As you guys are probably setting up your LinkedIn accounts, you're probably applying to jobs, you're getting a lot of rejections, and I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of these jobs are hesitant to hire new grads. New grads typically are expensive for companies. They have to pay you to train you, they have to pay you to get certain certifications, and some of you guys may not have work experience and they're taking a chance on you. So from a business perspective, it is more expensive hiring a new grad fresh out of college than maybe someone who has years of experience. Even though you have your degree, it might feel like sometimes the degree doesn't matter. And that's why some people go to grad school to get extra degrees, because they think that that will make them a more qualified applicant. Sometimes that's not the case depending on what you major in, and that's another thing I want to talk about. This is going to hurt some of your guys' feelings. A lot of the majors that people major in are not going to make you money. This goes back to managing your expectations. There are going to be people going to offer you jobs and they're going to start you off at like $20 an hour, $25 an hour, and you're going to think to yourself, excuse me, I have a degree, this is basically nothing, this is the same amount of money I received without a degree, what's the point? That's the reality of the job market today. These companies do not care that you have a degree and internships and all these things. You can do your best that you can to secure these things, and it can make you a more competitive applicant, but the job market today is very fierce. You're not gonna like this, but you may have to take a job that is lower in compensation that you hoped for. And honestly, that is okay, because it's better to have some kind of work experience than none. I made the mistake of denying pretty much every entry-level job because the pay was not what I expected. If you are rejecting every job, you could have probably had some months of experience under your belt. Sometimes you're gonna have to take that low-paying job to get to where you need to be. At the end of the day, like I said, these companies see you as an entry-level worker, so they're gonna give you entry-level pay. And some people make the mistake of going to school, grad school, and thinking that more degrees can make you more money, and sometimes that's not the case depending on what your career field is. Obviously, if you're in like healthcare, or maybe you're going to law school or some kind of cybersecurity, engineering, technology, maybe more certifications and more degrees can guarantee you more money. But a lot of the times, if you're in kind of like liberal arts, psychology, those kind of degrees, going to school doesn't necessarily mean that you'll always make more money. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. This aspect of the job search is what leads people into a postgrad depression, because during your undergrad years, you know, you are validated by your friends, you're validated by your work ethic, you're validated by academics, your professors, your extracurriculars. And when you get in the job market, it's like, hello, does anyone see my hard work? Like, your resume is top tier, it's perfect, but you're competing with other new grads who also have top tier, amazing resume. You guys do the same internships and you might not even get a job offer from those internships. And that is what can lead to post-grad depression. Your extracurriculars, your grades, who you know, whatever may not matter in the real world. And that sometimes can be eye-opening and soul-crushing. I just want to let you know that you are more than your job. It's kind of hard to conceptualize in a capitalistic society where what you do and who you know and how much money you make is your identity, but you have more worth and value than your job. It's easier said than done, but don't let a rejection become your identity, and don't take it personally, because it's not just happening to you, it's happening to a lot of new grads around the world. Also, as a new grad, you might find yourself comparing yourself to other people. That can get bad very quickly. There are going to be people around you that get high-paying job offers, they're gonna get married, they're gonna have kids, they're gonna start living their life, and on the outside, on social media, it looks like they have the best life, but you never know what's really happening. A lot of people are graduating with loans, a lot of people have to move back to their family home, a lot of people are having the burden to pay rent. Unless you're a Nepo baby or you have a trust fund, everyone's pretty much in the same boat. It's hard when your friends are getting high-paying job offers and you are still looking for a job. You have to tell yourself your time will come. Everything happens for a reason. During this time, I had to heavily rely on God because I had those feelings of inadequacy. You really want to rely on God and your faith during this time. And my tip for you is to just get a job, any job, no matter the pay, but also still look. Let's talk about friendships. This is a time where you realize who your real friends are, and not in like a we have beef kind of way, but just like in a reality sets in kind of way. During college, you have forced proximity where you're kind of forced to see these people almost every day. You maybe live with them, you live around them, you see them every day for school. And when you're in the real world, that's not the case. Some people move states, some people go back home, people have lives, you know, you're not going to be seeing each other as much every day, and you're not going to be talking on the phone as much every day. And that is when grace sets in, and that's when intentionality sets in with your friends. You have to be intentional. It can happen where you don't reach out to your friend doesn't reach out to you, and that's the end of the friendship. That can easily happen. If you cherish these people in your life, you have to be intentional with staying friends. You have to be intentional about setting friendship dates and calling on the phone. You may not be able to see each other for months on end, but you have to keep that communication open. There have been times where I only see a friend once every other month. There might be times when maybe you only see your friends on their birthdays. That is real. Depending on the level of friendship, you have to be intentional about your friends. A lot of people are busy, and people take that personally, especially if you're a clingy friend. They are their own person. Makeup's coming out pretty decent, if I do say so myself. This is the time when you also meet new people, and you have to be open to the idea of making new friends. I think with friendships, you kind of have to just be open-minded and just be open to anything that comes your way. That's just the best way to be with everything. You have to be flexible, open-minded. In this economy right now, I know hanging out with friends can sometimes be so expensive. You don't have the money for the brunches and the parties and the trips and stuff. So find things in your area that are free or low cost. Go to museums, have game nights at your house, go for picnics, go for walks, work out together. Do free things that don't cost, but you know, you can still build that bond. It's not every day popping bottles in the club. I don't got popping bottle money, and honestly, I have work the next day. I cannot afford to be out till 3 a.m. Another thing I want to talk about, find hobbies and third spaces. As a kid, sometimes I feel like I would see adults and their lives and be like, oh, that's so boring, I never want to live that way. And then slowly and surely you become that boring adult that you were scared of. That can easily happen if you make work your whole life. A lot of people, your work is going to be where you spend the most amount of time in, and you have to be careful, because if that is all you do every day, your personality is just your work and nothing about you is interesting. This is the time in your life where you have to be intentional about picking up hobbies. That can look like starting a new YouTube channel, working out, learning a new language, different things that can occupy your time outside of work. You want to still be you at the end of all of this. What makes you interesting? What makes you different? What makes you cool? What are your hobbies? Invest in that. Even if you don't have hobbies, make time for friends, make time for family. This can be such a lonely time and you don't want to be by yourself. Let's do my edges. Edges are done. It just changes up the look, I feel like. Some takeaways for this video. I just want you to recognize that this can be a difficult time in your life. If you need therapy or counseling, definitely get that resource. For me, I tapped into my church community. I tapped into Jesus. It's very hard in a capitalist society where what you do matters a lot. And it's a culture shock to be told that you're not important, that you're not as valuable, that what you did in your past does not matter. But I want you to know that you matter. If you're applying to 10 jobs a day, 20 jobs a day, don't forget to take breaks, tap into your community, tap into your friendships. I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing day. If you are a new grad, congratulations on finishing school and graduating. That is amazing. That is a big accomplishment. I wish you the best. I pray that everything is aligned in God's will for your life. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.